just need to turn the fuel on. Let the carb fill up a little bit. Pull the choke. Alright, here goes nothing. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see behind me, I have my 1980 Vespa V50. Alright, this is a small frame that I've had laying in the shed for a while. I really haven't had time to do anything with it. I have done a couple things to it. The major thing is the 5-lug conversion up front. So most of your V90s and V50s came in the 4-lug setup like this. Okay, I think that looks horrible, so I went ahead and did the 5-lug conversion up front. So if you have a 4-lug setup on your bike, it is possible to do the conversion. The only thing you would need is the hub, axle, a couple bearings, and of course wheel. Once you start taking it all apart, you'll kind of see how it all goes back together. But if I ever come across another bike with a 4-lug, I'll be sure to make a video of how to actually convert that. But anyways, this is going to be the test dummy for the big motor I just built over here. This is a 136cc Malosi kit that I built for my buddy Rick. He got brand new SIP cases, new transmission, E-gig flywheel, E-gig clutch, vape ignition system, PHBL 25 Delorto carb, and yeah, we're gonna make sure this thing actually functions properly before I send it back to him, because it'd be very expensive if he had to send it back to me if I made a mistake. So anyways, back to the bike over here. If you guys are actually looking to buy a small frame Vespa, there's a couple things you should look for. Major thing is try to stay away from anything below 1960 or older than 1965, because those are the V90s with the 3-speed transmission. You can't really do anything to them. If you're going to keep it stock, no problem. But if you're going to upgrade it, definitely look for something that's newer. Okay. The major thing is that this door right here. All right. So in your early Vs, the door is about this size here. It looks like about right here. Okay. There's a later one with a big door. Now, the problem is if you put anything bigger than a 90cc motor into a small door Vespa, small frame Vespa, you cannot change the spark plug easily. You have to drop the motor down to change the spark plug. I mean, if you can live with that, then go for it. But it's one of those things that's annoying when you go to modify anything in these small frame Vespas. The other thing is try to look for one that has the 5-lug conversion or 5-lug wheels already, so you don't have to do the conversion. Or if you actually like the 4-lug, you can go for that. But major thing, like I said, is the door. So yeah, like I said, this is going to be the test dummy for that motor over there. We're going to start by removing the gas tank, motor, and just pretty much getting it ready for that big motor over there. So if you guys are ready, let's get to it. We're going to start by removing the fuel rod and the gas tank, because you have to detach the carb before you can pull the motor out. Okay, so you reach down here, pull the pin for the fuel rod. Looks like this. Pull the fuel rod out. All right, holding the nut on the other side. Got the check pin removed. All right, now I got the check pin out. Just pull the gas tank up like this. Usually kind of set it like that. Detach it from the carb. And choke cable. Just pull this out of the holder and then out of the way. Nice and easy. Okay. Like I said, you have to detach the carb before you can pull the motor out. Once you got that clamp off the manifold loose, you should be able to just spin it. It'll come out. The throttle cable unclips there. We'll pull it out. So this is a Delorto 1610. Yeah, definitely for a 50cc. Pull a little manifold clamp off. That's it. All right, now we can actually unbolt the motor and remove that. The wiring from the engine. This junction box, and then there's screws in here. Just detach all the wiring. Should be good. The only one I'm going to be using just for testing purposes is the kill wire. I believe that's the red one. So yeah, I'll keep the red one around, hook it up to that green wire coming off the CDI of the new build, and that way I can actually cut the motor off with the switch on the handlebars. There's the red wire I'm talking about. All the other ones I just leave off. I don't need power to test the motor, so old wiring, it's all crusty. Yep. See, this is what happens when you you buy an old bike. The wiring's probably crusty, so don't just get it started and go ride around on it, because you will run into problems. Rear jacked up and the wheel off. I'm gonna clean some of this gunk off before I start detaching stuff. Ugh. All right, we've got the bottom of the engine somewhat clean, best as I can, while it's still in the bike. But I'll go ahead and disconnect all the cables. The cables is this is the clutch one, and then you got the two gear selector cables, and then of course the rear brake cable. So detach those, and then after that you should be able to just unbolt the motor with the just by removing the rear shock bolt and the main engine bolt. All right, got all the cables out. Let's start unbolting the motor. Okay, so first I'm gonna remove the exhaust. It's just two 10mm up here, and then I believe this is a 15 or 17. Get the exhaust out of the way. You can easily remove the main engine bolt and the rear shock bolt. Actually a 14mm. All right, now I've got the exhaust removed. You just remove the rear shock bolt, and then of course the main engine bolt up here. The entire thing will just come right out. Again, don't do this without detaching the carb. You can see the carb goes through the frame. Okay, so remove the carb first, then go and remove the engine. Sent me a nice VMC race exhaust to use with his motor. So first thing you have to do is actually bolt the exhaust manifold to the motor itself. I have the motor hung in the frame already, just with the front bolt. So this is the exhaust manifold right here. Okay, you have to install that first, then you put the shroud on. The shroud mounts, and there's a screw back here. All right, so once you get all that on, you have to deflate the tire, and then you can kind of wedge it in here, bolt the wheel on, and then you can finish up everything after that. So yeah, it's pretty much 40 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag, but unfortunately That's just how it is with these small frames. You have to figure out clever ways of getting it all to go together because it's just so little room. So let's get it all done. Alright guys, I have the engine bolted into the frame. Everything's torqued down properly. I have all the shrouds installed. And I have the exhaust bolted on completely. So everything's fitting and looking pretty good. Next steps is to hook up the cables, some wiring, and of course connect the carb. Alright guys, you can see I've got all the cables hooked up to the motor. I left the slack there because it's just temporary. I also did some wiring. Just hooked up the 1 kill wire to the red wire in the junction box, and that way I can actually shut the motor down with the handlebar switch. Up here I went ahead and installed the carb. Everything's good there. The cables are hooked up. So the next step is really just put some gear oil in this thing, hook up fuel, and then we can see if it'll start. Alright guys, so for transmission fluid I use 30 weight non-detergent from Napa Auto Parts. This is the fill bolt right here. I fill up, I think 2 of these, and I squirt it in there till it starts dripping out from the same hole, and then I cap it, and that's when I know it's full. So I've already done that. Let's move on to mixing some fuel. All right, guys. So on these bikes, you have to run pre-mix. If you guys have no idea how to do that, so pretty much you have to get a big. Well, this is a 5-gallon jug, but you need at least 1 gallon. So I like to mix it 32 to 1, which is 3%. And that's 4 ounces for every gallon. All right, I have 3 gallons in here, so I'll need a total of 12 ounces. The oil I use is this Bel-Ray SI7 synthetic stuff. There's no reason why. It was cheap. I think it was like 50% off somewhere a couple years ago, and I bought like 10 bottles. So I use this, never had any issues. So as long as you're running synthetic stuff at 3%, you should be fine for any setup. So we're going to dump 12 ounces of this stuff. Alright, now that I got 12 ounces of oil in a 3-gallon jug, we can go ahead and mix it up. Should be good like that. It's pretty easy to mix, especially with stuff that's made for premix. Alright guys, moment of truth. I have my fuel hooked up. This little external fuel can. Just need to turn the fuel on. Let the carb fill up a little bit. Pull the choke. Alright, here goes nothing. Alright guys, as you saw, it literally started on the 2nd kick ever, so I'd say it's pretty good. Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds strong. I don't hear any weird noise or anything like that. Unfortunately, it's late at night, and it just rained, so I can't take it out for a little ride. But then again, I'm sure you want to be a part of it anyway. So, yeah, we'll wait till tomorrow when it's nicer, and we'll take it out for a ride. All right, guys. Actually, the next day, and it rained earlier, but it's a little dry right now. So, before it starts raining again, let's take this thing out for a little spin, make sure all the gears are okay. All right, so you can see I've got the gas tank back in. I put a seat back on, and yeah, should be good. Do too many adjustments to this thing because Rick will probably have to redo it as soon as he puts it in his setup. So yeah, let me get some gear on and we'll take it down the block. Whew. Alright guys, that was a semi-successful first ride. Obviously needs tuning. I'm going to let Rick handle that because he lives in a different state and it's higher elevation over there. But I was able to get through all 4 gears. I kind of wrapped first gear and it's strong. I did find it sometimes was hard to get it into gear, so I know it's because the levers are not giving me enough pull on the clutch, so it's not fully disengaging. Because eGig actually recommends that you get a certain set of levers that give you more pull. It's they're available from SIP, I think. But I have the SIP levers on my blue badge with the same clutch, and I remember I had to change levers to get more pull out of it, and it worked fine after that. So again, just more adjustments, and Rick will have to handle that because no point in me adjusting this bike because this motor is not going to this bike. So next step is remove the motor, box it up, ship it off to Rick, and then you can have fun with it. So yeah guys, that's really it for this build video. If you guys have enjoyed the video so far, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.